come here so everybody can see. So yeah, my name is Ahmed. I'm the government representative with public safety rep with Verizon Wireless. During our meeting, yes, a couple of days ago, so we talked about options for the city as far as public safety pricing, same as what FirstNet is offering. So
back that up a little bit and really give us a snapshot of FirstNet, because we're really on the front end of this stuff as far as understanding goes.
Okay, so FirstNet is the public safety state-funded company that AT&T runs. So what they do is they bid into the FirstNet project. So it gives you priority on the tower if there is a crisis. Is what it is. It's a line, same as it runs. What AT&T has done is said that we're gonna build the towers just for public safety, but as of today, there is no towers for public safety in the state of Alabama. They stopped the rollout, but it's not in here yet. They're still using the same towers as any commercial or consumer towers out there. So we've been doing that for 10 years. AT&T is just starting now doing this. We've had public safety pricing and plans for over 10 years now. What we offer is priority on the data. There is no priority on the voice. That is offered by the Department of Homeland Security. So there's a big misconception saying that AT&T will give you a voice call priority. That has to be approved by Homeland Security. And if you have a Sprint, T-Mobile, Boost Mobile, you can get that as long as it's approved by Homeland Security. So what AT&T is offering is a preemption, which is the priority on the data side. And we've been doing that for 10 years. So we have a head start on that business. I mean, that's what FirstNet is. It's just a priority on the towers from the data side. There is a misconception out there. It was supposed to be just for strictly first responders. And FirstNet is offering that for, they extended their definition of public safety to transportation, schools. So a lot of other, government agencies have FirstNet. So if everybody has priority, no one has priority. Well, we restrict ours to strictly government accounts and city halls and fire departments and police departments and other agencies.
And let me interject with, I just want to help make sure everybody understands what I learned in our meeting. We're talking about the opportunity to have priority in events of a catastrophe or natural disaster, priority in reestablishing our communications within the city and then with other entities. The difference is your product versus what AT&T offers. They're still going to get us to the same spot. We're looking at pricing and coverage, those type of things for issues.
That's correct. So, the other difference is FirstNet only has 2 sales reps in the state of Alabama, 2 or 3. We have over 10 sales reps. So you will not have this, like we just met the day before yesterday. I'm here. I live just 30 minutes away from here. So you have that support. You have other Peter. We have an IT person that can come in here in case there's a crisis. I was in Lee County helping out with the tornado recovery efforts. We brought towers on trucks. We brought devices to no cost for the city or the county. We just do that. If there is a crisis, we will help with the restoration of communication for first responders. So you have that to you, whether you're a customer, by the way, or not. If there is a crisis, call Verizon. Your customer or not, we will come in here and help you. The other thing is support. So you have a lot of layers of support. You have me. You have, if I don't answer, you have a 24-hour 7 hotline for it's a crisis CRT, crisis response team Verizon made. So if there is a crisis at 3 a.m., you can call and order whatever. We have offices in Birmingham where there's phones and all that. So we can help out at any time if there is a crisis. As far as pricing, just to be honest, it's pretty much the same. We're just cheaper by 50 or 40 cents or $1. I mean, it's as far as pricing, it's gonna be the same. After a year, it's gonna drop a little bit, but I don't see us competing in pricing. I see us competing in reliability, support, and being honest about what we offer.
Let me interject there. The pricing that he's referring to is should we go to FirstNet versus going to the Verizon product. Either one of those options are going to be cheaper than we're paying right now on just our straight AT&T lines. Going to the municipal supported option is going to be $33.99 versus $35 with Verizon versus AT&T.
Are we only talking about cellular, or are we talking about landlines?
Yeah, so that brings me to the landline part, and that's what John is here. John worked with Verizon for 18 years. Now he works for Masters Telecom. It's a second layer of support, and I'll let him do his presentation of the landline solution, or the voice over IP.
So I can not have my back to anyone, I'll come over here. So we are partnered with Verizon. Again, I'm with Masters Telecom. I'm the CSO for the company. And what we do when we're talking about Verizon One Talk was really geared to solve a problem, which is the way we do and conduct business today is completely different than the way it was 40, 50 years ago. People are mobile, people are moving around, and so what happens is, more often than not, phone calls are now going to voicemail. And there's a lack of response because people aren't going and checking their voicemail. So what One Talk does is it gives you the traditional desk phone experience. It is a voice over IP product, but it also gives you the flexibility to not be tied behind, because we also have a partnering native app, which is free with the desk phone service. And with that native app, now I don't have to always call someone from my cell phone and they get my private cell phone number. I can also call from the desk phone, and if, let's say, I'm talking to a med, and a med needs to be transferred to someone else within my office from that app experience, now I can go and transfer him to someone within my organization, even though I might be on the lake fishing. So that's the kind of flexibility that I have with the Verizon One Talk. Now, I will tell you, we have been making tremendous penetration within the government space. So we've already got the Alabama State Legislature on. We've got a reference letter to anyone who wants to call them and contact them as a referral. We have over 700 lines with them. We're meeting with school systems, with city municipalities all across the state of Alabama. And so I just left a meeting a couple days ago with the city of Demopolis, George County Board of Education. Recently installed a system down in Selma. So kind of spreading out through all over the place, but it's that flexibility, and more importantly, it's also the reliability because it's running over the internet traffic. So many phone lines that get cut, and what happens when the lines get cut is services out. With Verizon One Talk, because of the fact that it's running over the internet and we have that pairing application experience, if the internet service is cut, everyone who has has the app also still gets their calls, business as usual. So you have instant redundancy and failover in place. That way you're never completely out of the loop. And then the last key point that I think is extremely important is just simply the fact that it's simple. And when I say simple, it's simple to manage. We have multiple layers of support across the country. I represent here in Alabama, and I got a whole team of people here in Birmingham and Delray, Florida, and so then we also have Verizon's support team as well. So we're going to make sure you're always taken care of, but we will train the team, whoever's responsible for overseeing it. We'll train you as much as you want to be trained on all the back end stuff, or I'll give you my email address and my phone number, and you can call me. Any questions around that?
I think question will come around pricing, obviously. It's simple. There is no overages. It's one price to remember. It's $25 per line. That's it. It's the monthly recurring cost. So if you have 4 desk phones, 25 times 4 is you have more, but you can do the math. As far as equipment, you can get for joining Verizon, you can get equipment for free. We have 3 models. One is $85. You can get that for free. The other one is $156. You get an $85 discount, so you only pay $60 on it. The one that we recommend is the mid-range one, which will cost you only $60 per device, which is very, very low.
Yeah, and then one other point is really coming around interconnectivity. And that's the one thing I really want to make sure that I emphasize. So, and I'm going to use the city of Demopolis as an example. So when we were down there, one of the problems that we were solving for them was because they're all fragmented, whether that's the library, from the police department, from City Hall, what they're wanting to do is get everything interconnected. So I know you're looking at maybe potentially using it just here, but if you rolled it out on the larger scale as well, that's where some more interconnectivity comes in play. So it's easy to have a line that transfers over to the chief, or whoever it is that you need, maybe at the library or any other organizations that are a part of the city. So it gives you a broad range to really get everyone on the same system.
Is your desk hardware multi-line phones?
Yeah, yeah. You can have extensions. You can
Get full line access on your desk units?
yeah.
It's $25 a month for the VoIP per phone per month. How about the cell phones? How much are the
$39.99.
they're $39.99 per month?
Yes, sir.
And that's unlimited.
Unlimited,
it's just
everything. Yep.
Okay.
Plus the priority, the preemption, data preemption.
And you explained to me that there's a specific code that can either be programmed into your emergency numbers or something you can dial manually, and that gives you priority calling.
Yeah, you have to go through the approval first on the Homeland Security. I'll send you an email with that.
Equipment. Our phones now are with AT&T. What on the cellular side? What would the equipment cost?
Oh, so the iPhone, the Galaxy S9 now is free. So you can get that. There is no contract based on the state contract that you buy off of. So there is no termination fee. So let's say you buy the phone tomorrow. You call me after, this is the worst decision I've ever made. You can cancel, there is no fee. But we don't want you to do that, obviously. But yeah, there is based on the contract.
The S9, and was that the only phone?
Oh, no, the Galaxy S7 is free. I'm sorry, the iPhone 7.
iPhone 7, okay.
The iPhone X is $99.99, so $100. Yeah. And for porting the numbers over to Verizon, you will receive a $150 bill credit as an incentive to join Verizon.
That's per line that you port over?
Per smartphone line that you port over.
So currently we have 3 phones with AT&T. That would be $450 credit once we port them over.
Yes, sir.
One other question, the landline equipment with the discount, whatever, $60 per line, that's a one-time fee?
Yes.
We don't have to do that annually, or we just pay the $60 and then their hours?
Again, you buy it off the same state contract. There's no contract. There's nothing. It's a one-time. Well, now it is. The discount is $85.
Right.
So that might change in a month or two. We don't know what promotions comes in, but
Right.
for now, that discount is.
So we buy it, it's ours?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. There's no. You're not leasing or anything.
Yeah, that's,
Now, I believe that the young lady that came with you, and her name's escapes me.
Yep.
Yvette, that's correct. She said that depending on what plan we choose, $39.99 per month, unlimited for the cell phones may drop January 1 to as low as $35. Is that right?
Yeah. So next year, we have a new contract coming in. One of the new things on that is that $5 drop for public safety pricing, but it has not come into effect yet. But that's one of the biggest highlights on it.
On the office phones, is there any installation fees or anything?
No, sir. One of the things that we've done in our partnership with Verizon is we will come out and do a white glove installation, so that's free of charge. And we'll also make sure that as we set every phone up, that we give each user a tutorial on how to use some of the most basic functions. And then we also program our support number in. That way, if there's some question that comes up, like how do I do this, they can just hit that button. It goes right to our support team to make sure that we can answer that question. And it's an ongoing, unlimited amount of support. There's no annual contracts with it like you see in a lot of other telecom situations.
How long are these rates good for?
The monthly rates, they're not changing.
Until,
Sorry.
until when?
That's the right, like, they don't change.
When y'all bid the state contract, what's the term of the contract? The term of the pricing?
I don't have that answer, the exact one, but I can get it for you. I need to counsel with one of our contract guy, and I'll get that answer for you.
Carol, do you have a question?
We buy off,
Oh, go ahead.
we sell off the NASPO contract for wireless.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
when the phones ring here, we got a town clerk and a court clerk. Is there any way to set it up that if you wanted to talk to the court clerk, press 1? If you want
Absolutely.
to talk to the town clerk, press 1, 2, whatever.
Yes,
In other
ma'am.
words, instead of me picking it up and going, oh, wait, now hold on, and putting my home and telling her to pick it up.
Exactly. You can.
I have to run in there and pick it up.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, absolutely. We can set it up however you want. So if you wanted to go to press 1 for this one, press 2 for
Yeah,
that one,
that's what I'm-
absolutely can. And then getting back to the scalability, it doesn't matter if you're in the same building or not. You can easily extension dial to the other users.
I've recently done the city of Jefferson, so if you call the city number now, you will hear our system. Yeah, so it says if this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. If you want police, 1 or 2, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Is there gonna be an extra fee because we do the credit card machine? Is there gonna be an extra fee?
Well, we
Or-
don't mess with that. We just take off your voice part of the bill. So
There's really 2 options on that. One is if you, I don't know if it was in here, but yeah, say the terminal. So if it's a IP-based terminal, it's business as usual, there's not going to be a problem. If it's an analog, you can call your provider up and just ask them to send you the digital version. Yeah, so that's real simple, no problem at all.
Well, I mean,
That's a good question.
nobody asked it, but-
Yeah.
Thank you.
just to add to that, the automated receptionist, that's a $20 fee. So the auto receptionist, so the way it shows up on the bill, it will be a number, and it says auto receptionist, and the charge on that is 20.
One-time charge.
And it's a monthly charge.
Wow.
So that's extra.
I think AT&T gives
Put it
that
on
for
hold
free.
and go pick it up.
I was gonna say, I don't think so.
Any other questions for these guys?
I'm a real visual person, I need to see.
Absolutely, yeah, we can, do you have a demo device? I can, we had it last time in the meeting, but we can bring
Well,
it.
she's talking about the numbers, she wants to see the estimate.
Oh, the numbers, yeah, we can
not-
send you
not the
quotes,
product.
yeah. I thought you were talking about.
All reception, is that on one line, is that charge per line for one?
No, just one line, it's
Okay.
just a $120 for the whole
Okay.
city, for the town.
Yeah, we can definitely put together a rough, or not a rough, but a quote for you based on, I guess you already have all the numbers as far as how many phones and everything.
Oh, and that's what,
Yeah,
that was.
we talked about that. I was hoping you'd have that with you tonight, so that we could.
Well, I didn't have the number of lines, the exact number.
What we said you were going to do per line so that we would be able to determine whether we wanted to, currently we have 3. If we wanted to add some for the police officers, that type of thing, we would be able to know what the per line charge was.
It's, so $39.99.
That's it, okay.
Yeah, it's simple, there's 3 figures, $39.99.
So I do have.
Yes.
And one other question. I use my personal phone, which is it's a Verizon phone anyway, but in the situation we're talking about as far as the public safety, what would I have to do, or what would we have to do? Because I don't carry 2 phones. I
Yes.
only carry my personal phone as well as some of the council members. And in the case of a
Crisis.
situation like Lee County, where the priority would go to the public services, but since I don't carry the town phone, is there a way
Yes.
that I would have to, my number would have to be
So
entered
we
in?
use
to be able
2
to-
things. You can either go online and fill out as a town employee, so that will help you with that. Or you can go to any store and have them add that to your line.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, so we did that with one of the other providers. All we did is they listed our phone numbers with their account, and our phones were able to communicate when we had tornadoes go through LN before. Even when we used our own personal phones, they just had to enter the phone number in, so it would during those events, we were able to communicate through with all the other rescue efforts. So,
Are there any other questions for these gentlemen? Fantastic. We'll watch for that, if you get that, something in writing to us, so I can get it out to the council members.
Thank you for the
Fantastic.
opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. By the way, I love the town. It looks great. That's why I'm gonna retire.
Thank you.
You have a good night.
Good night. Thank you for coming.
again.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
All right. Again, that's significantly less than we're paying now on our cell bill, so some type of move would probably be good for us. All right.
That first one, A,
On the consent agenda?
yes, if you'll notice, it says 796. Apparently, I went through my dyslexia that day, and it should have been 790, 769.
769.
And I did do the check for 796, but I talked to them, and they are going to adjust the next bill to correct it. Thank you. Just to let you know.
All right, so in that vein, we're on the consent agenda, so please.
And Ms. Ray's here if you want
Say again?
to. Ms. Ray's here if you want to.
Yes, absolutely. And I failed to look.
I got it.
Okay.
Middle Creek. What's going on with Middle Creek? That's a drug test.
Who is it on?
Eddie,
Eddie, yes, Eddie. That's a,
I'm sorry.
that's okay.
Why did Eddie get the fifth and fourth on down?
He got rear-ended. You're on the I-65 north?
Yes, sir.
Okay, on I-65 north, he got rear-ended, and there's no damage or injuries, but we had a post-accident drug test just in case.
Company car.
City call. We wouldn't have tested him otherwise.
The Dave's Pest Control, is that something we
Dave.
pay
This one
monthly?
get paid.
Well, we're-
Dave's
Dave's
Pest
Pest
Control.
Control, is that a monthly?
There it is, right there, right there. No, I think that's when we had him come out and spray for,
Well, there's two bills in here for $250, and we paid them a month ago, $250, and I don't understand.
did the invoices overlap, because this was dated August 5th, this
Now,
invoice
because every
is.
time they run a new invoice, they put a new, what is it? The number of it.
Okay, the first invoice is dated 7/13 for $250. The second one is dated 8/5 for $250. Let me see, invoice number.
Well, one was WASP, wasn't it?
I was thinking they only charged us $125 for WASP. No, it was like I thought it was $125 for, Yellow Jacket, WASP, and then we had Yellow Jackets, and they said, oh, well, that spray didn't cover the Yellow Jackets, we'll have to come and do it again.
Here's the explanation. I should have read this. Quarterly, inside and outside,
Okay.
$75. It just said, got the quarterly service listed, though. There's still another $175 to go.
See, that's why I'm confused.
This is the invoice. You might see it, and that is not, the 175 looks to be, we paid them last month, we wrote them a check for
We wrote the
$250.
$250.
Based on the date of that invoice, because it's prior to last month's meeting.
I think we should strike G until we get more information.
Bet G's been paid.
What is the,
Bancorp is the cars, the payments on the cars.
and is
Then
that just their regular pay?
Yeah, Warrior River, that's gotta be paid, and the Bancorp's gotta be paid.
Okay.
Mr. Decker came and cut the grass,
What's his charge?
and he's always paid,
75?
75 on his. VTech,
Every month, yeah.
and this is the recurring $110. I got another, well, there's a note from them.
W-2 for operating.
Do what?
W's would be that 2.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
us talking about that.
Alabama Municipal Insurance Corp., $6,183. That's got to be paid.
What is it?
That's for the insurance.
This is, remember, we could pay it in installments, but it had to be three.
Yeah, this is the last one. This is the last installment. Hager and Company, this came in on 9/5 for, I forgot to put the amount on it, didn't I?
No, 60.
660.
Annual transportation plan and report to council is what he's charging on this invoice dated 8/28.
So that report was related to the gas tax?
The gas tax, yes.
These are gonna be paid, right?
Well, we got a vote on it.
Next one down, y'all ready for the next one?
Yes, please.
This Tuscaloosa County Commission, Finance in the County, sent this bill for $887.07. I called down there to ask them what it was. They said these are 3 calls that were requested for Tuscaloosa County Fire and Rescue to come to. Well, when I sent the bill to the police, the fire department came back over here and told me, no, it was our responsibility. Somebody called them to come onto a scene. They don't charge that unless they're called by a specific person.
I remember seeing that in the contract, but do they not have a record of who called?
I haven't found out yet, and I'm trying to get the fire department to find out for me,
We're gonna have to know who called.
because, I
When I
mean,
look at that bill, is that the same, is that the bill that I gave you?
887?
but that's Tuscaloosa Fire and Rescue
I
to
know
come out on the call.
Okay.
About let's scratch that one too until we find out what it's for.
Which is
N.
Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, here's $300 for 3 months for, this is for the municipal court for me to have lists.
And then we have another for the police.
Then we got one for the police department, but do you see the ones below it from 1/1/19 to 3/31/19? It was not paid. That was received in February. The one for 4/1/19 to 6/30/19 was received in April. It was not paid. I haven't found it. The 7/1/19 to 9/30 is the one up above that's up here. So it's not paid, but that's the one, that's the third one, the 7/1 to 9/30. That's what's in his hand now. But the other 2, I have not been able to find those.
They're not in the clerk's office.
They're not in the clerk's office, and they have not, I can't find them.
So we need to pay them a total of $900.
$900.
Well, they is a recurring expense.
Yeah.
For some reason, he knows where the invoices went.
Right.
This one I'm gonna check on, I've got to find out about it. Xerox, of course, is gonna be the police department, it's the normal 9657. And then the one for the town hall is 146.49. That's what came in this time, they haven't been paid. Alabama Power, am I going to?
No, you're doing great.
Alabama
Thank you.
Power is $100.84, and this is for the street lights.
Right.
The Alabama Power for Tanny Hill Parkway, which is this building, is $748.66.
Is that what it is normally? or-
No, it's up because the front lights, the hall lights, and I found the spotlights been on, and the, what is this thing over here?
Car barn?
No, not the car barn, the breezeway
The breezeway.
lights have been,
But
been left on.
that's for a month, that's for
That's,
one month of
that's,
service?
from
It's not any late charges from previous
August
months?
the 2nd through September the 3rd.
1 month.
So that's kind of that's the following month's bill from B up above, is that right?
I beg your pardon, I didn't hear you, man.
The B is the,
It's a street light bill from July. So that looks like a following month bill.
Yeah, this, you mean the one that said received 910?
B.
Oh,
No.
yeah, those are
B
the
and
prior
C.
ones, those are the prior ones that were paid last month.
Can you,
These are current.
do you have
Oh,
any idea what we
she's
paid?
already paid those.
The Alabama Power, okay, the one for B was $100.84, that's normal.
$100.84
Alabama Power is for the building, it's
That's
$639.
different.
Oh,
That's
okay.
for street.
Okay.
Yeah, the street lights now usually about 100, it stays the same.
Okay.
But C is the one last year that we paid, I mean last month.
And it has been extremely hot.
It has, the air
Yeah.
conditioner's been running a lot more, sure.
All right, next,
V
Visa bill, it came in.
That should be a Lowe's.
Yes, for $15.32. Doesn't tell what it's for.
That receipt should be in there.
That
It's
should be for some wash spray.
That's wash spray.
Okay. Is that the, right there? No, that's not it.
No, it's, one can's in there and one can's in here.
We got it's $45 to go back and join, every year you join what, Sam's Club. You don't want to do this anymore because nobody's going over there.
Well, I mean,
Nobody's shopping.
nobody goes
We're not
anymore.
using it now. Most of our stuff comes from Office Depot.
So you want to avoid this one?
Yeah, let's
I don't
scratch
think
that
we
one.
should.
Do not,
I think we need to notify them that we're not gonna
Yeah,
renew it,
do not renew.
just in case at some point we decide, somebody decides that it needs to be.
Whose phone is that?
That's mine.
Okay. You
Alright.
need to check it?
No. B-Tech. Alright, this B-Tech bill that, where are we at, W?
Mm-hmm.
This is to upgrade us from Windows 7 to Windows 10.
Has it been done?
Nope.
It hasn't been
No,
done.
that's what they're giving me. I got them to let me know.
The way that breaks down?
Let's take it out of consent agenda because it's a quote
That's-
for future
Yeah, it doesn't
services.
need to be.
Let's take it out.
Alright, we're gonna move that to 1.
We can move it to new
Move it
business.
to business. That is a,
That was free too.
was it, the upgrade was?
Yeah, they did for a while, but you had free upgrade for about 6
Well,
months.
well,
A lot of this is equipment in here. This is a Dell Optiplex Mini Tower i5 8 gig of RAM. That's $4,794, and I'll give you guys a copy of this for the council meeting. And then Office 365 times 6 for the 6 computers is $4,950. $2,000 worth of labor, that's 16 hours of labor at 125 for a total of $68,4374.
But they're now reporting that, this number 10, have you seen the reports on it? They're having really bad problems with it.
That's why I was looking at it.
It's turning your screen red. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we'll make copies of that for the principal.
Let's see, state treasurer, I've got this, what's this one from? Did I put this on? Rebuild America Act. It says here, our records indicate that you are overdue for your gas tax disbursement setup. If you believe this notification does not apply to you, please be sure to respond by via email. The Rebuild Act, you know what we all discussed in there.
We didn't set up the account, so
We
we're
did
not
not.
gonna get the money.
But we can't set up the accounts because we didn't do a resolution. They require a
They
resolution.
wanted a resolution for it, yeah.
Okay.
I thought we did.
We did not do
I don't
that.
think we
We
did.
did a motion, but I
The
don't
motion was made, but they require a resolution and a copy of the minutes.
They haven't always done that, but that is something they're doing now.
Do we need to pull that out and put it down as a separate?
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a new business. Well, really, like, unfinished business or old business, yeah. Let's put it under, put it under 7. Old unfinished business.
New business.
No, old unfinished business for the gas tax. How, rebuild Alabama.
Now, whether they'll go back and
I didn't get the
disperse it
information.
to us or
There's
not.
definitely been dispersed, there's gonna be no dispersal until the first of the year.
Yeah, the money's not available yet. I'm sort of puzzled by the way the letter was worded.
The Lakeview domain is up, and it says this is a reminder that your domain, lakeviewalabama.gov, for which you were listed as a billing point of contact, is due for renewal. It did not even give me an amount.
We need to check with Next 21 and make sure that's accurate.
Yeah, let's scratch that because we don't have.
Yeah, we don't have an amount, so there's nothing to be
Check the
paid.
next one.
Yes, I just don't want to be taken by somebody trying to
Alright,
get money from us.
and, Alpine Contracting, remember the gutter out on the cart barn that was sagging? It was repaired and it came up to $695. They replaced fascia on the front of the cart barn, reattached the gutter to the cart barn, mounted fire extinguishers, furnished and installed faucet and kitchen utility sink, replace light bulbs in bathrooms upstairs and downstairs.
I don't remember, did we talk about this?
We didn't talk about the gutter repair. I don't remember talking about the faucet either.
I don't remember that being done either.
When were these services done? I know the repairs to the car barn was done maybe late July or August.
They were replaced to put lights in the bathrooms.
Light bulbs in the bathrooms upstairs and downstairs, it says. And Alpine Contracting is Sam, the person that does our repairs around here. When things are, and I did call him on the repair to the gutter because it was falling off and had the eave open to the.
What's your pleasure?
Pay it.
You gotta clean it.
Pay.
Did you replace the faucet? Is the faucet new in the bath? Did it say kitchen?
Yeah, I don't remember seeing a new
Say kitchen
faucet
or
in there.
It says, replace fascia on front of car barn, reattach gutter to car barn, mounted fire extinguishers, renew by the fire extinguishers. Furnished and installed faucet in kitchen utilities, on the utility sink. That's the little plastic sink that's off the storage room.
I'd like to pull that one too, because I think we already paid for those fire extinguishers to be serviced.
Can I say that, Karen?
Yeah. I'm not sure about, y'all ready for the next one?
Can we pull Alpine Contracting out of consent agenda?
Sure.
Yeah.
And either table it for next month or put it as a separate item?
Now let's go ahead and table it so that we have time to find out if we paid for those fire extinguishers. He's not, I actually called him to ask for the invoice. He was not in a hurry.
Okay, so we're moving.
Let's just table that.
We're moving VTech to new business.
Let me see
We're
that deal.
tabling the domain and tabling Alpine Contracting.
Yes, and we're moving Rebuild Alabama to unfinished. Go ahead, Terry.
This is on Enterprise State Community College is asking for information from our town. For vendor ID, comply with IRS regulations and requirement. ESCC is requesting a W-9 request for taxpayers' ID number and vendor contact form from all vendors from the 2019 tax year. Please complete the attached form in its entirety. Include the type of business and taxpayer's identification number. Includes a box labeled exempt will the W-9 if your business is exempt from backup withholdings. Failure to provide this information could result in a tax withholding of up to 30% plus applicable state withholding and penalties. Your questions on completing the W-9 can be found on blah, blah, blah. It's got a website.
Did you say that's a community college?
Yeah, it says community college on it.
We don't have anybody taking classes at a community collect that
But I'm
we're
aware of
paying
it
for.
anyway.
So that wouldn't have anything to do with us.
He's Jim is saying,
Just take it off.
put it in the bird cage, yeah.
So just tear it up, put it in garbage.
Either that or let's make some phone calls and see if we can find out why they. need it.
Enterprise State Community College.
I don't even know what that is.
That's probably
It's
something.
in Enterprise, Alabama. That's the first I've heard.
That's not, we have none of the municipal training there with.
And there is another Lakeview in the state, so they could be having the wrong, they did say city of
Your
Lakeview.
classes were down there, weren't
Who?
they? Enterprise State?
All right, let's strike double A.
Unless we've had training
I'll
on
bring
it.
my paperwork back, they don't send me.
Well, I mean, I just,
I will call him.
I heard at the University.
The awning concepts again is a bid, it's not a consent.
Yes, that's
agenda.
not.
2800,
Are we gonna put it under?
Let's put that under unfinished business.
Okay.
which is on the old which is gonna be.
It should be the second under.
The emission recall, was there a charge to that?
As far as I know, no. It just to let y'all know that it did have to be recalled, and it's just, Eddie,
What?
did they recall both of the, SUVs or one? Both
I
of them?
thought it was just one at this point.
I think it
And
is.
we checked on it and they said it was because it was actually at a different plant or a different time.
Yeah, it's just that, this one's got just that one.
Yeah, it's just one.
So that's okay.
This time.
Strike it. And then the last thing is the Alabama League of Municipalities for $1,126.89.
Is that an annual fee?
Yeah, this is a standard pay.
Well, let's recap what we did with these things. We
still need to go back and discuss E and F. E and F.
E and F.
Oh, I've got one more thing. Searching, I forgot to put this on here for the police department, is needing, integrity bags. Have y'all already ordered these, Eddie?
Ordered what?
Integrity bags, for the evidence bags.
No. Well,
And it comes to $160.95.
So that needs to go under new business?
I'm sorry about
Save-
that. I
save that.
forgot to put it on there.
What's the name of it again?
In Searching, SIRCHIA.
And it's total how much?
$160
That's for evidence bags.
and 95 cents. Yeah, as their evidence bags. They're different sizes. There's 4 different sizes. Yeah, 160.95.
Okay, Comcast was E and F.
Should be like
First page.
6 or 7. I think she's looking for the actual invoice. Right, or Middle Creek. You get the Dave's Pest Control you want people.
Where are they? Here they are. Actually, the total bill right now is $917 and some odd cents. Is what it's gonna be.
What?
Oh, some odd cents.
Paul, did you ever sign that other contract, get the bill over?
I did, and
Can I have a copy of it, please?
I talked to them, what day was that? Monday?
Monday,
Tuesday,
Right.
to confirm that, that everything's in order. I'm looking for that charge that the service that was being billed erroneously.
It's,
I think it was 40 or
this one
$50.
right here. It should be, instead of $59.95, if you take off the package for the ESPN and 1 and 2, they'll drop it down to $9.95, and there's a couple other things in there that I know of.
And the service is actually $6.95, I think is what it is, $6.95. This says on this invoice next to the $59.85, this is mobility voice line, business voice times 3, $19.95 each.
They said it was $50.
That's our,
No, there it is, it's the top one.
there it is.
There's
Okay, that's the one
59.
that's different, all right. $59.95 was the erroneous amount. Maybe we'll see these.
Yes,
These
so
two.
are they going to correct these prior bills?
I have asked them if they could backdate it. She said, well, she didn't have that authority. And she was going to follow up. Adrian is the representative that I spoke with, and she was going to follow up with me, and that was Tuesday, and I have not heard from her yet. I am off tomorrow, and I will follow up with her tomorrow, too. There was no issue getting it removed, but she started talking when I asked her to backdate it because it was never authorized.
Okay, so the one that I'm holding looks like it's 2 months of bills.
One of those shows that one part of that was already paid. Is that the one? It's bottom.
Yeah, it's got a $271 payment.
No, I wrote it down on the bottom of one of them.
Yeah, this one, yeah.
Yeah, see, I paid part of that already. That was the prior month, remember?
17, you paid 271.18. And the new charge is for 263.71.
she's got. But it came out and she said it was 917 and so on.
Okay, if this bill is $263.71 a month and we owe $900, that's more than.
Yeah, I could just do 71.
And the lake don't feel like it probably was in there.
That was your late fee on this one. Swap shipping. Leave it on the consent agenda without.
All right, let's recap what we've done. Dave's Pest Control, we pulled that out because we believe it may have already been paid, so we're going to wait and verify.
Okay, well, looking at it, the invoice was dated 8/5, and it was $75 for the quarterly service, okay? And then the other one was dated 7/13,
Exact same charge?
no, and it was the $175 for the one-time yellow jacket treatment. So the $175 and the $75 quarterly equals $250.
But that's not my concern. I agree with the bill. We believe it may have already been paid, is what
Which
was
one
brought
do you
up.
think has been paid?
250.
The 250 total.
The 250 total?
Mhm. That's the reason if you don't mind, it's easy to reference. We can leave it on there easily. All right, so we're looking at Dave's right now. N, I've got to mark through N. I didn't make a note.
That was the 3 call outs. We're going to get more information.
Ah, that's right.
on.
Recall that. So that's been tabled. So again, that's N, like Nancy. V, we struck it. That's the Sam's membership. I've already overlooked B-Tech.
No, we moved it to new business. didn't we?
There it is, that's right. B-Tech has been moved to new business. Rebuild Alabama was moved to old and unfinished.
We tabled, Lakeview, Alabama, because we didn't have a bill, and somebody's gonna check with next
We're
week.
gonna check with
21.
next 21.
If they did it, I'll figure it out.
We're tabling the Alpine contracting while we verify if any of those services have been paid for previously.
Yes.
Double A, we struck that.
Owning, we moved
Owning
to
Concepts, we moved to old and unfinished business.
Alabama League, we left.
Yeah.
The emissions recall, that was just a statement.
That's just, yes, nothing to do there, that's right. What's it look like, Carol?
This one, we got this invoice, says 6/13/2019. I wrote a check and mailed it 7/2, and it's for $125.
What's the description?
It says wash spray.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah, that was the
That's
first.
big
Altogether.
sprays.
The WASP, they came out and did the WASP, even though George had still go out there and kill 2 big wasp nests afterwards. And then that's when we found out about the yellow jackets, and we had them come back out,
Yep.
the yellow jackets.
So G's back in for
G
250.
is gonna have to be back in.
And he did do the court spray because he showed up on Friday.
Okay.
Because I had to let him around the office.
I thought we had. Okay. Any more questions on the consent agenda before we move on? All right, super.
Y'all, I'm sorry this is different, but I.
You got it together, Terry. You're doing a great job.
I did, it's different.
All right, department business.
Do we need to strike number 4 or table it because we don't actually have any minutes to approve?
Well, that's gonna.
That's actually the minutes for the workshop, for the council meeting that sort of
I
intermingled.
forgot to change the date on that, like, what?
I know, but we need to approve those.
Yeah, we did get a previous minutes.
Where are they at?
So we don't have.
We don't have, okay, all right, so let's do strike 4. All right, George, we're actually running into the council meeting, so I think we'll just take just a very brief moment and then reconvene on the council.